everybody else on the court because he's different. We knew that. We tried to trap him, and I thought at times that was good for us. But, man, when you trap UConn, you have to be careful because of the firepower around him. But Terrace Reed is I think a big part of what makes UConn good. Last four teams, first year at Xavier, they won a national championship. They were good. They got great at the end. Year two, that's the best college team that I've ever seen. I put them up there with, Coach K's teams, and those teams. They were just incredible. That second team, and then, last year maybe not as good as the first two, and I would say this year maybe more on par with that first team that I coached against. I don't know if you can build that second team again. That one right there was amazing.
Last one, no. Coach, obviously you mentioned free throw shooting, but for closing out this game, you're going to face a lot of these tough challenges, tough road environments in the SEC. What do you guys need to do to get to that point where you're able to kind of close the gaps in these types of games and make that final push?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you call learning to win. Being a group that has to be able to break through that final barrier and be able to do things like make free throws under pressure, defend for 40 minutes, not 25 or 20, be able to defend without fouling. Tonight was the best we've done in a long time of being able to defend without fouling. I think everybody on our team felt it, and I think that's a big step in the right direction as well.
Thank you all. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, and then like if you could just try, you guys are gonna get me in trouble. You know, I got to be able to see who's got the mic. So if you could, yeah. But I would just say, so proud of the guys. I mean, and so proud of the team. Just what we've been able to do with the non-conference here, with the quality of the opposition, and then just the adversity relative to, just having such key players out. And just for me, I think, why we are where we are. Going into conference play now is it's probably singularly because of guys like, the way a guy like Jaylen Stewart plays for us tonight. I think, he wins the game for us. We go with Braylon to start the game, and, the guy's just such an incredible UConn guy. He's one of the most selfless, best human beings I've ever coached, and obviously incredibly talented player, and I just thought that his performance here, 3 for 5, the 10 huge points. I thought his activity defensively, we win that game and where we're at as a program because of men like Jaylen. So thrilled with the win, 10-1. I'll take it.
Yeah, 10-1 and 5-1. The gauntlet of the 6, Power 4 opponents. How impressive is that? And how important is that, considering the fact that the quad 1 opportunities may not be as frequent in the Big East this year?
Yeah, I think we knew that, and we talked about that as a team. I mean, I'll be glued to my TV tomorrow because there's some opportunities for the league. I think coming up in December, I know St. John's has got Kentucky, and I know, there may be some other opportunities against, some games that could move the needle. But yeah, I mean, we knew that we had to come through. We talked about it as a team, that we needed to come in with the best net that we could come in with. We had a chance to get, 5 quad 1 games and 1 quad 2 game, and we went 4-1 and 1-0 in quad 2. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on us in the non-conference to come through, and we were able to do it. I know your voice. It's when I get into the crowd of people and and that's the great Cormac Gordon. That was his nephew. Yeah, the great Cormac Gordon from Staten Island. The great Cormac Gordon.
2 things on Alex. Just your thoughts on his shot that followed Solo's shot and called it the biggest play of the game. And Alex, in general, he spoke a lot in the preseason about the ups and downs of last season having put him in a better place mentally. He feels like mentally and physically he was entering this season in a better place to handle a season, so to speak. So your thoughts on his shot and just overall what his impact this season?
Yeah, I think last year gave him perspective. I think, it's, I don't think he's approaching this season with any type of level of entitlement. You go back-to-back champs your first 2 years in college, and it's a joyride. And then you have we all have a tough third year together. And I think losing that entitlement and just being grateful to have another opportunity, to have his last run at UConn, and he knows he's got a strong team around him, a stronger team this year, has given him a lot of confidence. And I think the fact that, the year went the way it went for him and for us last year, and there was it had no impact on his draft stock. I mean, he was still going to be drafted, late first, earliest second, after, probably a year that, he wasn't anywhere near at his best. So, the NBA has made a decision that, he's a guy that's going to be picked, in the 20s or in the early 30s. He knows that. He's established that. And now he's just, I think, relaxed and attacking the year and just really enjoying his last season at UConn. I know, me and him are just trying to enjoy every practice and every game and every moment together because it's coming to an end.
And his shot, the rim was probably still shaking from the crowd noise that followed Solo's shot.
Yeah.
It was a quick second.
that was great. And it was like we had that stretch where we had it to 10, and we had those offensive rebound throwouts to the three-point line, and I think Solo missed 2 pretty clean threes that I think in almost back-to-back possessions where we could have got it to 16 and maybe gotten away from them a little bit. So, Solo owed us that bomb that he hit, and then just how clutch AK's been closing games. You just knew that was going down, and that was probably as loud as I've heard, this building. And we obviously got a real nice streak in here going. I think the crowd, really showed up for us tonight. The way a top 5 team in the country, when they play at home, it should be bedlam and mayhem.
Hey, Coach. Did Malachi hit a 10-inch growth spurt, or did Terrace Reed really have 5 assists tonight?
That was good. I mean, Terrace looked like Donovan up there for us. I mean, that's where we were. Part of when people start switching things is you have to have a center at the top of the key that's got size and it's got vision and dexterity with his hands that can make those kind of thread the needle passes so I think that both Terrace and Eric, obviously Eric got limited by foul trouble. I thought Eric was playing really, really good today. So, it's just having a center that could play out there when people are switching so we could start slipping things, fading things, slipping flares, stepping to the that's going to make us more dangerous offensively.
Dan, Sean was just talking about learning how to win.
Yeah.
You guys just had a stretch of games where you've made all the winning plays when you had to. Just what impressed you about the way you guys have gone out and just taken a hold of these games the last 3 or 4 minutes?
Yeah, just I think again we're still Bray being able to get a 25-minute game under his belt. I thought he was fatigued a little bit. In the second half, some late, but it was great to see him get a start, get a 25-minute, get his cardio up, and he'll be able to build from that. And I think, the kind of the same thing with Terrace. Just, I think he got a little fatigued and he got a little sloppy with some of the guards picked up a couple of those turnovers, but Terrace had a couple chances to catch finish at the rim. Terrace probably should have had 18 today. I just think for us, while we're trying to get whole and trying to figure out our rotation and trying to get Terrace and Braylon into the flow of things and trying to get our rotation set, what great teams do is find ways to win while they're still going through it.
Hey, Coach. Braylon made his first career start tonight. How did his early performance really show how he's ready to step into this bigger role?
Yeah, I mean, he got us going. I mean, he just, he could just do things when things break down. He can make hard shots. Those kind of off-script threes. And I don't think he quite understands exactly, kind of the movement stuff with, he missed so much time. I think he's just going to become so much more dangerous, and he's doing pretty much all of it off script. He doesn't really even know how to get his stuff within the confines of the things we're running yet because he missed so much time. So as we get this guy more into the flow of understanding, the cuts and the reads and everything, he's going to have some really explosive nights, and I thought he got us going tonight.
Early in the game, you guys were shooting lights out. Did you feel like you guys should have been up earlier, up more? And, what did you attribute that Texas did well to keep it close and you guys were shooting so well?
Well, I mean, we did some things to nullify. I mean, you shoot 68%. You shoot 54% for the game. They shoot 37%, obviously, I looked at one point, it was 10 fouls, 10-2 in the second half, from a foul standpoint. So that, we got to figure that part of it out. I see Dan over there, so I'm going to probably stop that right there. But we've got some undisciplined fouling going on. And again, they're So I think just putting them being at the line as much as they were kept them in it, I thought. And you look at their team. I mean, Jordan Pope is a heck of an offensive player. I mean, Dalen Swain is going to be an NBA draft pick. You know, their center is a tremendous player. You know, we met Heidi in the Final Four. You know, Mark is a sixth-year player who's a big-time scorer. Sim Wilcher was I think a starter on a really, really, you know, top-flight St. John's team. I mean, this is a team with talent. So, you know, for us, the rebounding, 15 turnovers was a mess. We would have scored 80 plus if we didn't turn the ball over 15 times.
Dan, you talked earlier in the season about Jaylen just needing to get more consistent. Did something click for him? I mean, because he does look like a different player right now, like he's more comfortable in whatever you're asking him to do.
Yeah, I mean, Jaylen is, I mean, you'll never coach a better human being. I mean, you know, Robert. So, yeah, I mean, Jaylen is just a total team guy. You know, I screwed up the last game with him, you know, not getting him back in the Florida game where he played well in that game. But, you know, this is a deep team. And, you know, but Jaylen is you know, I think this guy's got a chance to be an NBA player. I think, you know, your career is a marathon. It's not a sprint. His best basketball is still ahead of him. He's still a baby. I mean, he's still young for his, you know, for being at this point in college, you know. So, and I can't tell you how big of a heart he has for UConn and how much he cares about his team and his teammates and, you know, how much that just does for the organization. I mean, and the guy's an awesome player.
What is it that you need out of him the rest of the way from a basketball perspective?
I think being more assertive on offense. I think, you know, you know, obviously, you know, he's a guy that, you know, can make threes, but I like when he like tries to drive it. I like when he goes in the mid post. I think we got to do a better job of running things for him when he's in there. I think we probably run too much stuff for Solo, Alex, Braylon, post ups, and I do think he's a really good offensive player. And you know, you know, he's a guy who's going to play starter minutes whether he starts games or not. Him and Malachi are, you know, like they're like sixth and seventh starters, really. You know, I mean, our bench is incredible. I mean, these guys would start for a lot of high majors. Eric, Malachi, Jaylen, Jaden Ross. I mean, Jaden Ross got the short end of it today, but Jaden, you know, his minutes should be, you know, no less than 14. But again, this is a deep team, and you know, and different guys are going to step up on a nightly basis.
Coach, Silas is off to a great start to the season. Ever since that triple-double against Bryant, his numbers have been down to where not reaching the standards to where they are expected to be. Just what are your thoughts on his play lately and how he can get back on the right track moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks. You know, he's a quarterback. Going into the game, you know, Silas was shooting, I think, 50% from the field. What was that? 51.5. Yeah, I mean, when a guard is shooting 51.5% from the field, and he's got a triple-double, and he saved our ass for his BYU, and I think he's singularly, although he was in foul trouble today, he's taken our defense from the dog stuff that it was last year, and he has singularly changed our identity that way. So, you know, I just think that it's like he's got all these weapons around him, and it's not an easy transition. You know, when do I attack and get mine? When do I be offensive-minded? Read it. You got shooters and rollers and all these things going on around you. I just think it's going to take time the way it did take time with T-New. And but again, quarterbacks get judged by what your record is. And his record's 10-1. And if he wasn't here, we'd be in trouble.
You guys have been great down the stretch all year, but the offense today went a bit stagnant in the second half. How do you improve on that as you head to the Big East play now?
I just thought we got into stuff deeper in the clock. I thought, just it took us too long to get into some things. Credit Texas. I think they got a better feel for some of the things that we were doing, but we had 15 turnovers. And again, we shot 54% from the field. We were 7 for 13 from the free throw line, and we had 15 turnovers. And I think we're not on the offensive glass the way we need to get on the offensive glass, and we got to get more things in transition. It's hard if you're always just going to play against a set defense. It's hard to just execute people for 40 minutes. You got to get more easy things in transition.
Coach, to your left.
We don't want to end like that.
You did well. You did what you wanted to do this first portion of the season, but the second half is going to be another gauntlet. Teams are looking to make UConn the prize in terms of getting some good wins. What do you do to keep your team ready to win those important games in the Big East?
Yeah, I think that the team is I think coming off a year like we had last year and having a group that knows its potential. I don't think it's going to be a challenge. Getting these guys ready. I did think second half tonight. That quick turnaround from that. You have that war versus Florida that you get in at 5 a.m. With the bus ride. Back, right, Bobby, and then you have a game like this versus Texas tonight. I just thought second half we looked maybe a little bit leg weary, but we got Saturday, we got Sunday, we got Monday, and then we'll be ready for our Big East opener on Tuesday back in here, where we've been playing real well.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
that moment, the building's kind of already shaking with Solo getting the shot at the buzzer. What are you seeing in that moment? And, I don't know, was the rim shaking when you were shot?
Nah, it's never shaken. I think Solo made a big time shot. I kind of screwed him over. I didn't realize how much time was on the shot clock, and I just threw him the ball, and he really saved the possession there. Then, I think this team's got create that identity where we could score, stop, and I think that's what Mally made a great pass for me to really execute the score, stop, and I love those type of shots.
In your season, Alex, in the preseason, you talked a lot about how the ups and downs of last season and how you felt you were in a better place emotionally, physically, everything this season.
Yeah.
You're through a big chunk of the season, an important part of the schedule now. How do you feel like things in general have gone for you?
I feel like it's been good. I think a lot of lessons were learned from last year, just mentally, physically, leadership-wise. Just what I went through last year made me a stronger person, a stronger player today, and I think I've really learned from last year and heading into this season just how I could be a better leader, how I could be better physically on the court, mentally on the court, and I think it's shown. Obviously, a long season to go still, so never really satisfied with my play or the team's play, and just going to continue to go forward.
Jaylen, on a day when Coach takes you out of the starting lineup, he couldn't have been more complimentary after the game about how well you played for the team. Can you just talk about your mindset going in and just how much you've matured as a player?
Oh, yeah, I feel like I kind of spoke on it a couple of games ago, but I feel like my whole career I've just been a selfless player, and I just want to see all my teammates win at the end of the day. So that's kind of what you see from me, just trying to be the same guy every day for my team.
And Alex, can you just talk about Jaylen and the unselfishness that he does show and the basketball ability that he brings to the court?
Yeah, he's one of the most unselfish guys in general that I've ever been around, and we're blessed to have Stewie as a teammate and just being a part of UConn, and every single night he's going out there to help the team out, and he doesn't care about himself. He doesn't care about the shots he takes or when he scores. He just wants to make the winning plays. And Stewie, he's grown ever since his freshman year, but ever since he was a freshman to now, he's always cared about the team and being unselfish. And that's a rare trait that you could find in college athletes today.
Malachi, another nice big assist totals for you. How do you think that speaks to your comfortability in such a complex offense like the one that you guys run?
Yeah, I think that's just one reason why they recruited me. Just my high IQ, with the great offense Dan Hurley plays they run.
Bro, why are you looking at me, bro?
I'm just looking at what you're saying. Keep
Bro,
going.
stop. Yeah, I think that's just what they want. They know what I can do, just making reads with the ball, playmaking. So it's kind of just natural to me. I just want to make sure I get my guys shots.
Alex, in your mind, what is the next step for this team to go into Big East play, to start putting teams away earlier in the game?
Yeah, I think that's the next step. I think the 23 and 24 teams I've been a part of, we're up 10, we're up 12. We're not giving Texas a hope to come back. And I think those teams would have put the hammer down and really just made it a 12-point game to 16 to the next media to 20 and just keep going. And I think that's the next step. I think we've learned that is the next step too, just with BYU, Illinois, other games too. And we just got to continue to play at a high level defensively.
For any of you guys, you look at how Braylon has kind of come in the last couple games after the injury. Coach was mentioning a lot of his offense was coming off script. You're seeing some of the shots he's taking, how green his light is. How do you think he's kind of been able to adjust so quickly into this? You guys were all freshmen at one point, and now coming in after missing time.
Yeah, I think he's been super impressive. Ever since he stepped on campus, he's just been a bucket. And I think it speaks a lot about Braylon's character, too. It's just he pretty much missed all the exhibition games and just all the preseason games. And for him to get thrown into the fire against Illinois, at Kansas, and really didn't have time to adjust as like a freshman, those are super hard games for anyone to play in. And for him to do it as a freshman, just stay composed and really just adjust on the fly is just credit to him, is credit to the coach and staff. And it's no real surprise with Braylon. He's been doing this since the summer.
You had 11 points going to halftime. You guys were shooting 68%, but it felt like when you guys came out in the second half, the offense went a bit stagnant. Moving forward into Big East play, how do you make sure you can translate over?
This for me. I think just continue to just play within the script, just continue to run what the coaches want us to run, and just have trust and just make the right reads. I think, I think we slowed the game down just with how much we fouled in the second half. We kind of got ourselves out the rhythm, but I believe we have the best offense in the country, and we just got to trust it.
For any of you guys, Coach said he emphasized how important the non-conference was for you this year, particularly this 6-game gauntlet that you went 5-1 in. Considering that there may not be a whole lot of huge quad one opportunities in the Big East, is that something he did stress to you guys, and that's something you understood going into kind of the non-conference slate, basically?
Jay, you want to take that one?
Yeah. We know how important building a resume is, and that really starts with just with the non-conference. We had many opportunities to do that, and we capitalized for the most part. Heading into Big East play, we know it's going to be a grind regardless. We know that you play each team twice, round robin. It's going to be super tough, but at the end of the day, we're trying to win as many games as possible, and that was just the mindset going into Florida and Texas specifically this week.
Jaylen, Coach said that he thinks it's probably time for the coaching staff to start drawing up plays for you rather than just waiting for a three to find you on the outside. Are you ready for that to take a bigger role in this offense?
Yeah, honestly, I'm ready to do whatever for this team to win. That's the main goal at the end of the year, just to get another championship. So I'm for sure ready.
Back, and Sean in the back. Shout it.
Oh, wow.
Alex, you guys have played two of the top rebounding teams in the country this past couple of games. I know you all have been working to improve the rebounding effort, but it seems you've gotten them when you've needed them. What separated those possessions where, like the late one in today's game, you're pulling down the offensive board and finally getting one to go? Like, what separated those possessions when you're, getting those effort rebounds from the ones where maybe you get beat to the boards?
It's just effort. It's effort. Rebounding is all effort, and just having that mindset that you're either going to crash the offensive glass every single time, or you're going to do what you got to do defensively to get the defensive rebound. And you got to put in effort. You got to have the mental sharpness to block out every single time, and just to want to get the ball and help your team out to win. And it wasn't pretty, the rebounding. Once again, it was something we got to continue to fix. But we got the ones that we needed, but we got to get every single one out there on the court.
For any of you guys, tonight, packed house, striped out, like, how did it feel? Like, how had this house rocking? I mean, you've obviously had Gamble with a high attendance already, but you finally had People's Bank Arena this year, just fully with an environment that we haven't seen so far.
Yeah, it felt good, just to run out with like 5 minutes left on the lane line. When I see the striped fan bases and stuff like that.
Go! I didn't.
Why are you laughing, bro?
Oh my goodness. Go!
Nah, yeah, it felt good though. It felt good. I think we need that. We've been going through it these last couple of days. But our energy. So, just happy the fans. Making their energy for us.
Jaylen, last year you guys had a lot of games like this that didn't go your way. What do you think this group learned about how to close these games out? Because you had a stretch of games where it could have easily had a couple more losses in there.
Yeah, I think it's not all about learning. I think we just bring in a couple of dogs like Malachi, Silas, so that helps a lot. Just having them fly around, making plays all game. So yeah, that's a big part of it. Just bringing in the right guys and molding together. So.
Malachi, 11 games in, has this experience at UConn been what you expected? Has there been anything that surprised you?
I think it's everything I expect. I know Coach Hurley is intense, with his coaching style. I think I'm prepared for it. I think I've been trying to make sure that I'm locked in towards, just the culture of UConn, the winning culture. So it's definitely everything I expected. And I know it wasn't going to be easy. So I'm just glad we have a winning season. Let's keep it up for our conference play.
Does it do anything for you to be going through this with Silas at the same time and sort of learning the offense and learning everything that goes into it together?
Yeah, definitely. We always try to help each other out. If he sees something, he tells me. If I see something, I tell him. We don't really take anything personal because, he's just trying to help. I'm trying to help him. He's trying to help me. Yeah, we've been going together, you know, since day one. So we just always just try to make sure we know what's going on and help each other out.
Thanks for these guys. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.